Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the May 26th, 2026 Brisbane Council to order at 5:30. I'd like to call on Councillor Darnbos for the land acknowledgement, please.
I'd like to acknowledge that the rural municipality of St. Andrews is located on Treaty 1 territory, the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe Cree, Oji Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the national homeland of the Red River Métis. We respect the spirit and intent of treaties and treaty making and remain committed to working in partnership with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. In the spirit of truth, reconciliation, and collaboration.
Thank you. Adoption of the agenda, item 3, be it resolved the council adopt the agenda as presented or amended with the addition of the following items. Are you adding it in?
Okay, I'll move it.
Okay. So as presented or?
No, I got one addition under new business, if we could, under 11.6, Matlock Community Club. In regards to the email that I sent out to everybody earlier today.
Yes, I responded, thank you. I responded to the email. Is council okay with that going on? Because we don't. Okay.
And I have a couple to add as well. I don't see the resolution on here for the airport AGM, and Deputy Mayor Murphy would advise last meeting and it would be on here, so I'd like to have that added.
Under what item?
New business, whatever, new business, I guess, as it hasn't come here yet.
Actually, we could do that under 8.9, correspondence for action, because we need a resolution. Airport AGM. Karen, do you have the information on that? I know Lisa's away. Or do you have a Councillor Schleicher for a resolution to be done?
June 10th.
June 10th at what time?
Oh, I'm thinking 5 o'clock.
Councillor Hunt, it's your place, what time is it for?
I'm not on the airport board, let me look through. It was in the last meeting and then. You know. I know it's the same day as the
AMM and.
June district in Winnipeg Beach, so. Should be no excuse for everyone to show up then.
We're having the airport people coming, right?
Okay.
We can confirm there.
Let's say 5 o'clock.
And the other one, Councillor Schleicher?
The other one is for the CAO, regarding the in-camera thing from 2 weeks ago, we were advised that there would be a resolution very quickly on that, and I don't see anything on the agenda for that.
On,
On what?
From the in-camera last meeting.
okay, you'll have to send me a message. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Well, the lady said that she would take care of it and we would have an answer in a couple of weeks, so it's just to be a resolution for, yeah.
What lady for what?
It was in camera.
Could you trust the
No,
chair?
Pam, I
I
can't because
can't.
you weren't in camera, so I can't do that for that, unfortunately.
Oh, that is, we're waiting for a response.
But you advised that 2 weeks ago that we would have that quick turnaround.
Well,
If
there's
you wanted an answer right away.
there's two lawyers dealing with it. I can't.
Okay, well, I don't want to see that dragged on, so I'd like to get that back on the agenda as quickly as possible.
Okay, well, we did.
And I think all of council would, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can't force the legal, that's how fast they're working.
Well, that wasn't the impression that the lady that presented to us gave us last meeting.
The lady was a lawyer. So she's the legal counsel for the RM.
Okay, so I'm following what she advised.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
So there is no addition on that one, because we're waiting for legal counsel. Okay. Hello. Over screen one. Okay. Yes.
The annual general meeting is Wednesday, June 10th at 5:30.
At 5:30.
email I got was 5 o'clock, but okay.
Okay, so we'll at the airport AGM was 8.9
At 5 o'clock, that's.
at 5. Okay, and then under new business, 11.6 Matlock Red Club. Okay, could I get a mover, please?
Oh my God.
Seconder. Counselor Dornbos, all those in favor? Adoption of the minutes? No, that's not. Be it resolved that. Be it resolved that council adopt the May 12th, 2026 meeting minutes as presented. Could I get a mover, please? Deputy Mayor Marecki, seconder. Counselor Dornbos, any errors or omissions? All those in favor? Unanimous, that is carried. Management reports. Thank you to everyone for putting in the management reports. Are there any questions on the manager's reports? Next item is the April 2026 indemnity report. Any questions for Carrie on the indemnities? Okay, we'll move on. Council reports, thank you. Oh, I forgot to mention, sorry, Councillor Mondor is not present for tonight's meeting. Does anybody have any questions on the council reports?
I don't. I'm trying to get my mind back. I thought the council reports were to contain any committees that you were on or anything that you attended that matched up to your indemnity sheet that you charge money for.
Well, it's an external committee report.
So the last few that you have done, you've included fees and this run and stuff like that. I'm not until, do you charge when you go to all those things? Is that why they're on
No,
here or?
Resolution, I've done the same reports since 2014.
I know you
since I was
haven't, but I've
elected.
gone back through and you're getting to add more and more things that you go to here. So I'm just.
Well, residents read our reports.
Correct.
You're not questioning Councillor Dornbos?
The first time I did question him and it's the first time that he's done it and his answer was he was following your lead because he thought maybe that's what we were supposed to do. I also attended all those things, but I don't need to put all that in my report.
Well, the public wire, well, look at Councillor Sun's report. It's got a date and a time and a place.
Well, this is what I'm saying, you're going after other
Councillor-
counselors.
Councillor Slaker, it was an error in judgment
I
on my
knew,
part,
yeah.
so I take full responsibility.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with letting your residents know where you're going when people read our reports.
And understandable what you're saying, and I believe that was part of our procedure where you have a resolution to get monetary compensation for going to these events, and that's what should be
That's
put
what
on. So
goes on the
this was a
report.
mistake on my part.
It's not free advertisement for you being out and about, it was my understanding of it. And I've just noticed lately that yours is getting more and more of those things, so
Because
I.
I'm
just
attending more and more events. Because I'm
Just
attending
asking Mayor Tool,
reports.
I wanted clarification, we kind of thought that it was what had matched your indemnity.
I think we don't, so I think we're good to.
Yeah, it's a lot of this isn't on the indemnity sheet. You don't charge for it.
But it's defeating the purpose of the report is external committees though.
Mm-hmm.
Let's change the name of it then.
Some put on their report when they attend a council meeting.
Okay.
That's not an.
Then
external
verify,
committee report.
you're the chair, verify what it means, external committee then.
I'd like to know why the attack is on me as the chair on a report.
I don't
I've
know.
done the same since 2014. Since I've been elected. What is the issue now? Councilor Slater, you've paid attention for the last 12 years. You keep telling council. What's the issue now?
Just asking the question, Mayor Tool, nothing for you to be upset about, it was just a question.
There was no question. It was your tone.
Oh, sorry, it was just a question, dear.
Anybody have any questions on the reports? Approval of account May 22nd check detail report. Be it resolved that council approved the May 22nd in 2026 check detail report as presented. Could I get a mover, please? Counselor Sliker, seconder. Counselor Corn, all those in favor? All, unanimous, that is approved. April 2026 financial statements. Be it resolved that council approve the April 2026 financial statements as presented. Could I get a mover, please? Counselor Dornbos, seconder. Counselor Corn, any comments, questions? All those in favor? Unanimous, that is carried. Correspondence for actions, 2026 AMM Interlake District Meeting. Be it resolved that be authorized to attend the 2026 Interlake District Meeting, which is being held on June 10th in Winnipeg Beach. Who would like to attend? Counselor Hunt? I will be attending. Counselor Marecki? Does anyone know if Counselor Monder will be attending?
He would have to be here to put his hand up.
Well, you would, if you're not coming, you would let someone know ahead of time. Okay, so Counselor Hunt, Mayor Sewell, and Deputy Mayor Marecki. Can I get a mover, please? Counselor Dornbos, seconder. Counselor Hunt, all those in favor? Unanimous, that is carried. 8.2, 77th annual review. Be it resolved that be authorized to attend the 77th annual ceremonial review for the 77 RCSCC Deerwood, which is being held on June 2nd at the Selkirk Memorial Hall. Could I get a mover, please? Oh, sorry. Counselor Dornbos, seconder. Deputy Mayor Marecki, who would like to attend?
I'll be going.
All those in favor? That is carried. Be it resolved that be authorized to attend the 53rd annual ceremonial review for the number 96 Lord Selkirk Navy League Cadets, which is being held June 8th at the Selkirk Memorial Hall. Who would like to attend? Are you included?
Yes, I'll attend that. There are a lot of individuals from the arm of St. Andrews in this sport.
Okay, can I get a mover, please? Counselor Dornbos, seconder. Counselor Sliker, all those in favor? Unanimous, that's carried. Item 8.4, be it resolved that council authorize a donation in the amount of $500 towards the Regional Comprehensive Secondary Schools Parents for Safe Grad Committee for the 2026 Safe Grad event. We've done this every year since, so, could I get a mover, please? Counselor Dornbos, seconder. Counselor Sliker. All those in favor? Unanimous, that is carried. Gimli, high school grad. Item 8.5, be it resolved that Mayor Sewell be authorized to attend the Gimli High School Grade 12 Awards Night being held June 22nd at the Gimli Rec Center. Could I get a mover, please? Counselor Slaker, seconder. Counselor Corn, all those in favor? Unanimous, that is carried. Item 8.6, Kirsten's Walk for Kids. Be it resolved, the council provides sponsorship in the amount of $200 for Kirsten's Walk for Kids. Could I get a mover, please? Counselor Dornbos, seconder. Counselor Corn. Which Slaker?
How much did we left it?
Yeah, I had contacted and had Lisa check. All those in favor? Unanimous, that is carried. Eastern Municipal Golf Tournament. Be it resolved that be authorized to attend the Eastern District Municipal Golf Tournament in California. And further be it resolved that council provide sponsorship in the amount of or provide a silent auction price. Is anyone wanting to attend? Okay. What did we have? Do we want to donate prize for the silent auction? What do we have, do you know, girls?
We have a picnic blanket, we have a Bluetooth speaker, I think we have one other item as well.
Cause we used to give both the history book too.
Yes. Yeah, I think we have a cooler pack or something like that, yeah.
Okay, so, there you go, just sign auction price. Could I get, this? Counselor Dornbos, seconder. Counselor Corn, all those in favor, unanimous, that's carried. ITA, GM and board nominations. Oh, you know what, I don't have a resolution here. Be it resolved that be authorized to attend the ITA annual general meeting being held June 26th in Gimli. And there's also after the meeting, there's a trivia night and a supper. It's $25, I think. Who would be interested to attend? I'll be attending. Let's go to ITA. You're still be, okay. Could I get a mover, please? Counselor Dornbos, seconder. Counselor Corn, all those in favor? Unanimous, that is carried. Correspondence for information. Yes.
8.9 that we had.
Oh, sorry, on this page. Airport AGM. Okay, Karen, I'll move it on here. Be it resolved, is everybody going to be attending? The airport, airport AGM held at Hunts Road House? Branch, will you be attending that as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So be it resolved, all members of council and the CAO be authorized to attend the airport AGM being held June 10th at Hunts Road House at 5 o'clock. All those in favor? That is carried. There's correspondence for information. Does anybody have any questions or comments on the information items? Okay, we have no old unfinished business. And new business is St. Andrews Airport 11.1. I believe they were coming for 6:30 or 6.
6:30.
So we can put that it's okay, we'll put that over. And carry on. 11.1, 11.1.1. 11.1.2. We'll go to 11.2 RFD road naming Walter subdivision. There's an attachment. Be it resolved that council accept the recommendation and authorize the requested road names of Eagle Cove and Kestrel Bay as part of subdivision number S253109. Did anybody want to speak to this? Or even
I can-
anyone?
Yeah, so it's in the report here, from Landmark. They did some, research trying to incorporate the surrounding Eagle's Nest and incorporate that into some of the conventional naming for the two roads. So they've come up with Eagle Cove and Kestrel Bay for that subdivision off Walter Road. Doing a initial search of existing road names in the ARM, there are none that are similar to that, so that was not really a concern. And so they're just coming to council to see if they're acceptable to those names. They'd be added on the plan of subdivision, so we don't need to do a road naming bylaw. It would be established as those road names.
Thank you. Does council have any questions? I'm sorry, I don't have them on my thing. The resolution for 11.2. We need a resolution, council?
You read it. You
Oh,
read-
okay. I don't have it printed out, that's for all. Could we get a mover, please? Counselor Dornbos, seconder. Counselor Schleicher. All in favor? Unanimous, that is carried. Next item is Valley Fiber Network expansion. Whereas Valley Fiber has submitted a request to the Arm of St. Andrews for the installation of underground conduit and fiber optic infrastructure within the industrial park south of Parkdale Road. And whereas council recognizes the importance of reliable high-speed internet infrastructure for residents, businesses, and future growth within the municipality. And whereas Valley Fiber has previously completed fiber optic infrastructure installations within the Arm of St. Andrews. Therefore, be it resolved that council approve Valley Fiber's proposed underground conduit and fiber optic installation within the following municipal road allowances: Red Rocks Lane, Stone Fort Road, Yorkville Crescent. And be it further resolved that the approval is subject to the following conditions. Number one, Valley Fiber shall provide the municipality with the name, phone number, and email address of the designated project manager for the project. Number two, pre and post-work inspections shall be completed with Valley Fiber and a representative of the Arm of St. Andrews Public Works Department to ensure all disturbed areas are properly restored and backfilled to the satisfaction of the Public Works Department at the expense of Valley Fiber. 3, Valley Fiber shall provide as built-in drawings for completed underground installations where applicable. And 4, Valley Fiber and its contractors shall comply with all municipal road restrictions, safety requirements, and direction provided by the Public Works Department unless otherwise authorized by council. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Feeblecoin. Seconder. Deputy Mayor Marecki. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor? Unanimous, that is carried. 11.4. Proposed amendment to section 152. Now, this is the Arm Alexander putting forward a resolution. We'll just join the other, this is standard, so we'll go on the resolutions. Our names are just added to the list. Whereas a recent decision of the Manitoba Court of Queen's Bench, J. Bond, confirmed that section 152.2 of the Municipal Act authorizes the chair to direct that a person be removed from a council meeting if the person's conduct at the meeting is improper. And whereas the authority to remove a person under section 152 applies to that meeting only, and a person so removed is otherwise permitted to attend subsequent council meetings. And whereas the Municipal Act does not provide a clear mechanism for councils to restrict attendance at council meetings beyond the removal authority set out in section 152.2. And whereas municipal council members are required to complete code of conduct training after each general election within the time period prescribed. Whereas the code of conduct establishes consequences for noncompliance up to and including removal from office in accordance with the applicable process. And whereas incidents of improper conduct at council meetings have increased in some communities, creating operational and safety concerns for council staff and the public. And whereas there is an absence of appropriate legislative tools, as the last comprehensive review of the Municipal Act received royal assent on November 19, 1996, which undermines effective governance, places municipal staff and elected officials at risk, and erodes public confidence in the ability of councils to conduct orderly and productive meetings. Now therefore be it resolved that the AMM lobbied the province of Manitoba to review and amend the Municipal Act as a whole, but with special respect to section 152.2, to strengthen municipal authority to maintain order and safety at council meetings while respecting procedural fairness and the public's right to attend. And further be it resolved that such amendments include a graduated range of consequences for repeat offenders, including escalating consequences where an individual has a demonstrated pattern of improper conduct at council meetings. And further be it resolved that the province of Manitoba consider amendments that would allow council by resolution and subject to clear criteria and procedural safeguards to prohibit brackets ban an individual from attending council meetings for an extended period where a documented history of improper conduct exists. Could I get a mover, please? Counselor Dornbos, seconder. Counselor Hunt. Any comments or questions? All of them in favor, or somebody has a question?
Just a comment, I just don't think this is an excellent idea, just based on conversations I've had with, some of those, municipalities at AMM, it is, they're certainly serious concerns.
Very good. They
Very
thought it's a
concerned.
greater,
Yeah.
it's bad. Yeah.
And it's a long time coming, it should have been done a while ago.
Been lobbying since 2015. All those in favor? Unanimous, that is carried. 11.5, RFD land acquisition. Brayden, there's a report attached. Brayden, did you want to speak to this?
I can speak to this one, yeah. So this is a result of the three-phase Kilmany Cove Estates. It's been given multiple names, but by Heatherdale Developments off of Donald Road. So after the third and final phase, there was a very small parcel. It's 0.08 acres. That is about 3,500 square feet. No real value to the developer, so they reached out and said, would the RM be interested in just acquiring the land at no cost for the land itself? Of course, yes, we'd be interested in that. It ties into a four-way intersection of Donald Road, Marecki Road, and what is now Brackmont Farm Road. This is the new road in that subdivision. There could be potential to consolidate with the road allowance for potential widening or curves in the future or drainage. It's just a good asset to have. The only cost to the municipality would be the legal and registration fees. The developer has agreed to transfer the land to us for no cost. We'd have to pay the consideration of $1 for the transfer of said land. But other than that, if we are responsible for the cost to actually initiate the transfer and registration, it would be at no cost to the RM.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions? Where's the design of Kilmany Place subdivision for the parcel of land adjacent to road allowances owned by the municipality? And whereas the developer has expressed a desire to donate the residual parcel to the municipality. And whereas the municipality may consolidate the residual parcel with the adjoining municipal road allowances in the future if deemed appropriate. Now therefore be it resolved that council authorizes the acquisition of the property legally described as parcel A, plan 53094, roll number 239.100.000 from Heatherdale Developments, Inc. for the purchase price of $1 as consideration. And be it further resolved that the municipality shall be responsible for all costs incurred to facilitate the land transfer. And be it further resolved that administration be authorized to execute all necessary agreements and documentation required to complete the transfer and registration of the property. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Dornbos, seconded by Councillor Slaker. Any further comments or questions? All in favor? Yes, and that's it. Wait a minute, bring this here. Yeah, we're gonna go back that, okay, Councilor had asked for 11.6 Matlock Rec. As an addition.
Okay, so you see an email I sent out today. Just a question. I don't remember sending any recommendation to Matlock Community Club on their procedural and bylaws.
No, I can add to that. We had no discussion on it because it's not, they're an individual board with an elected official. I got a call from the president. Asking for some help with the policy change. So it was with, I sent the information, she was even texting all the time, so I sent that to Lisa and she drafted up a policy for them.
But we don't get involved in that kind of stuff, like,
Well, they asked for help. to-
okay, but we asked for help is eliminating other board members, like, since when did we not allow people in Winnipeg Beach to go on the board?
I think there's some personnel issues in here and I'd ask this matter be moved from.
No, there's no personnel issues with this. This is Matlock Recreational Club. And you've seen the emails that I sent out, so they're public information now, plus I had 2 phone calls. So I don't know, as soon as you include the RM in an email that, and I'll read it once again. Please be advised that at the emergency board meeting held on Saturday, the board accepted and adopted the RMS St. Andrews recommendations regarding board, executive, and eligibility requirements. Under this policy, only residents of the RMS St. Andrews and Village of Donato are eligible to hold board or executive positions with the Matlock Recreational Club. Now, why is that?
I had received a concern call because their AGM is in June. There is talk, you know how successful the Matlock community.
They do
Club
great.
is.
It's a great board there.
Well, there's an understanding without mentioning names. A group of people want to, from Winnipeg Beach, they're not residents, or want to overthrow the board and take over the club and use it strictly for quilting and seniors walks.
But that's part of the membership though. That's why you buy. And another thing, they said that if you haven't not bought a membership by January the 1st of that year, of this year, you're not allowed to vote.
I believe it's December 31st, that's in their bylaw. I'm advised
Okay.
that's in their bylaw. But it's basically, they're so successful, it's like this other group wants it back for their quilting, they don't want children allowed. That's what don't you?
So then
think
why
that's
would we
fair?
get involved then and send out that the recommendation, the
Well,
policies?
Wording in there, because they asked for help for wording on the policy. And see, it was hard to do because they have constitution, they have their bylaws, but they were only sending like 1 page here, but everything as an elected board, they were able to call an emergency meeting and pass bylaws as they saw. And pass the policies they fit. It's in the bylaw.
Yeah, but the policy from where? Council should see this, not from one person, not from yourself. Because I'm gonna read something else here, and this is what is very, very troubling. Thank you for notifying the club of your intention to stand for the position of president in the upcoming AGM. So now there's competition, which is democracy, it's called, which we have election coming up here, October the 28th. It's like eliminating somebody from running from council because they don't live in the RM, but they have land, the same, and the government saw fit to overturn that. So this board is eliminating through this policy that somebody wrote, namely yourself probably, saying that the,
Don't make false accusations, Council Hunt.
well, you just said you had a call from a person, from the
From
president.
the president,
Okay,
because there's.
so now this president is saying she doesn't want no one running against her.
As far as Councilor Slaker, I see your hand up.
So anyway, I'll let some discussion go on. This is very, very troubling. And I don't like getting involved in community clubs, but we got dragged into this now, so we're gonna solve it.
Well, that's a wording on their part because council has never interfered with the bylaws, the policies. I'm advised the past president told Brenda, the current president, that the RM owns the building. The RM provides the insurance.
We do. We
It's a
provide
group
insurance
of-
to every community club in the
It's a-
municipality.
Group of Winnipeg Beach residents that want to take over the club. And
Then-
that's why they were so upset and needed an emergency policy.
Well, that, I don't buy that. I don't buy that because that's what the purpose of an AGM is to have a vote through paid members. And a group can't come and hijack a meeting. And it's a group, it's a democracy. You're eliminating the democracy.
I am not.
You are so.
They are.
You're eliminating the democracy because you're not allowing people from not within the RM to be on the board.
They are following.
So what if somebody
their
from the village
bylaws.
wants to form a coup and take over the board, then do we eliminate the village too?
Well, it's so, council hasn't.
I have no problem in allowing anybody that pays a membership to run for the board. It's democracy. It's a great club and it's being run great and the members who attend the AGM will decide that. If there's somebody planning to take over the club, whatever, the members aren't gonna allow that.
Well, there will be a vote, but they followed their bylaws and their policies.
But they didn't. If they just had an emergency meeting, and I don't think you can change. I'll have to ask maybe an opinion of staff, maybe. Can you go into an AGM and change anything prior to the meeting, or is that for the next year's AGM?
In their bylaw. That's how their bylaw reads.
Well, no one's ever seen this bylaw. Okay, I'll let someone else speak, because this is ridiculous.
I am on some of these local things, and what you've done by sticking the RM into this is completely wrong. Why you would step into this and drag all of us with you is completely wrong. There are procedures that you can find out. I have worked on a constitution with the board. I understand how they work in all the community clubs around here. You have toppled us as the council into a crap show now. And this is out all over the place. And all kinds of people are talking about it. So please don't dismiss it like you did nothing wrong. They're trying to reinvent their bylaws, which is up to them. But now you've dragged the RM into it.
That's the wording in their thing. I can't. control
You
what they're-
did this,
But you said-
so you never should have.
Do we have a
said to
point of
do
order
this.
here, please? What I would suggest is we just take a seat in camera for further discussion.
Well, I think the people of Matlock need to hear what
We
what
can come up
happened?
with a resolution.
We don't need a resolution. They're an independent board with the constitution, with their bylaws and their policies. They had the right to, she was sending me copies and that's why I got ahold of Lisa to help her. Because they asked for assistance. So if someone asks for assistance on the wording in a policy, but it's not all laid on the RM. Your resident, your friend there that sent that email.
My friend, she's an acquaintance, but whatever, the other.
That she stated that at the RM council, there was never be involvement with the council. It's an administrative. Do we go with Teresa on all the rec clubs and tell everybody what they're supposed to do?
No, you don't.
So what's the issue with this?
Why did you get into it?
Let me tell you what
They
the
asked
issues.
me for help.
It's
They
not
asked
your
on the
place,
wording.
it's
If-
not your place to step into a community club unless you are on the board. End of story.
So if someone asks you for advice, you go, no,
There's a difference.
I'm
between
not
advice
I'm
than-
not
than-
sending out stuff
Okay.
like that.
Put my hand up and speak, please.
yes, go ahead.
I don't want this to go in the camera because this is not legal or personnel, but the executive board, Matlock Executive said that, and I read it, please be advised that emergency board meeting held May 23rd, the board accepted and adopted the RM of St. Andrews recommendations regarding
Yeah,
board and executive eligibility and requirements. So we recommended those eligibility and requirements. Who did?
Where are you reading this from?
On the attachment, the
On the
email,
big one or the little one?
the small one. Thank you for your understanding.
That's coming from a resident.
It's not, it's coming from,
Wait a minute.
I said it again, it's coming from Matlock Recreation Executive Club. Matlock Recreation Club Executive.
Seeing that, it was simply, they contacted me with the issue, they wanted help with the policy. They sent me off different pages that applied to their meetings and everything else. I contacted Lisa as admin. And she did it, so if
But
that's.
who put in the
wording-
wording, though? And I wanna know this then, who put in the wording such as such eligibility for nominations will be reviewed in accordance, okay, that the RM eligibility requirements. Who dictated to them the eligibility requirements that anybody from Gimli or Winnipeg Beach is not allowed to be on
Wasn't
the board?
us. That was a board decision, that Lisa sent them a draft. It was a draft,
But
the board as the executive decides what goes in the policy, and that was me.
okay, first of all, here, what do we do about this? Because this AGM can't go ahead on June the 3rd and have people eliminated that want to be on the board executive. This seems to be like you say, a power play. Now that someone, thank you for notifying your club of your intention to stand for president. But too bad you don't live We just changed the rules, because you don't live in St. Andrews or Village of Narberth, you can't run. That's what happened
I
here.
don't think we vote on their constitution.
We don't.
We shouldn't have
Well, then
done
who's,
it in the first place.
where's the vote that it could be changed?
I just read it for the third time. I'm
Who
reading it
voted
again.
on it?
The executive board did,
Then-
from the recommendation from the municipality, which apparently come from the mayor and Lisa.
But there's nobody from here that voted. That's what that board voted on.
The board voted on recommendations from the municipality. The board is saying that.
That,
Yeah,
That's
there's no
what-
recommendations from us.
if they added that into their wording, it's not, it's, the board has an executive.
So let me put it this way, does the RM want to eliminate people that want to join our board and make the board as good as that club has been, as good as all of our clubs have been, and eliminate people because they don't live? We allow people from the Village of Denardder to be on the board. Why not Winnipeg Beach? Why not Gimli?
And Mayor Sewell, you answered the question. You said right off the bat, there's a group in Winnipeg Beach that wants to take over the hall. That should be nothing that you should have stepped into as a mayor, council, or anything else.
And by this, you're
That
eliminating
has
them.
nothing to do with us. They have their board, they have their people, and they run stuff the way they do. At the AGM, the people that paid their money would vote as to where it was gonna go. Just like every other community club here does. There was a kerfuffle at Little Britain when we attended. They ironed it out. The RM sure didn't get involved. And now you've got the RM, it's out there that we have changed their bylaws.
We made
They
recommendations
changed
to
them
them.
because we told them to.
Which was a draft.
It doesn't
Policy.
matter, you
Yes, it
shouldn't
does.
have stepped into it at all.
Let me go.
That's point board, isn't it?
Conversation.
I don't think we're getting anywhere.
We're not elected officials of that board. It doesn't matter, it was a draft that Lisa had sent to them, a draft. Do you understand draft?
Excuse me?
It's the board that makes the
And
decision.
you
of the
should
agenda.
not have authorized Lisa to send a draft. Do you understand that part, Mary Sewell? Please don't talk to me
I'm
condescending.
calling the recess.
Yeah.
Counselor Selector needs to sign learners.
Please do.
Eligibility requirements to the Matlock Rec Club, that you have to be from the Village of Denardder or St. Andrews in order to hold board or executive positions on Matlock Recreation Club. Now, we as an RM, do we want to restrict people that making our club stronger? It's a great club now, and hopefully different ideas, different people always make clubs stronger. Why would you want to eliminate that? That's all I'm asking for, that somehow administration look into this, and I don't think, to me, I'd like them to postpone. I know we can't make them, but I'd like them to postpone the AGM, which is on June the 7th, I believe. And say until they get this straightened out. There's no way, shape, or form that any of us from council say that you have to be from Village of Denardder or St. Andrews to be eligible to be on the board. And I want that known, that I didn't say that. I don't think, did anyone else here say that?
Nope.
Okay, well. And
It was a recommendation, a draft. The board is responsible for running the operation of the Matlock Community
I
Club,
understand that.
which is a building owned by the RM. We pay their insurance.
We do every community club, we pay their insurance.
Well, we're talking about this just to
Okay.
clarify.
Okay, but they're not special just because we pay their insurance. Pay them all. Anyway. Okay, it's been known now and people will see this and this board is trying to hijack the executive somehow. They don't want somebody on the board that is now from Winnipeg Beach or Gimli, and I don't think that's right. And, if council wants to let that go, fine, I guess, but I think someone should be sending a letter and be known that I did not recommend from council that you have to be from Village of the Otter or St. Andrews to be on the executive or the board. So,
Senator Slager?
Should we not ask administration to put out a comment in regard to this, that it was through social media, that we put it on the Matlock, like all the different community Facebook pages, that the RM did not state that?
That opinion is coming in an email, from a resident.
It's out there though, Mayor Stoll. That's the unfortunate part, and it's out there, like, people got that emailed to them, and that's the answer. So, right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm like Counselor Hunt, I am not comfortable with Matlock thinking that this council stated this. When you yourself told us the backdoor deal is they're concerned about a group from Winnipeg Beach coming in to take over their club. That's not anything that we should know here. So I would like to see the RM step up and remove us from them. That is communication that maybe Caroline can do and put out for
I
us.
think we'll need a resolution for that.
Okay, then that I would like to see a resolution. We can't stop the AGM, we can't do any of that, but I would like it put out there that we as the council did not state what that email said.
and the email is not from a resident. For the 10th time, I'll read it again. It's from Matlock Recreational Club Executive. From the executive stating that the board accept and adopt the RMS St. Andrews recommendations regarding board requirements and executive eligibility and requirements. So I would like to make a resolution that we, no shape or form, did not say who or who not you can have on the board. And St. Andrews values all members of the community, being Village of the Otter, Winnipeg Beach, Gimli, could even be Rockwood. Armstrong, which is close to that area too. We value all members who want to step up and be on the board and be members. It makes the club stronger, something like that.
Well, you can make a motion with the resolution.
Okay, that, like I say, that we value all of our community clubs, and we value all the people that step up to run for executive positions. But no way, shape, or form did St. Andrews in this community club or any other community club say who of a residence, if you're a resident of St. Andrews or the Village of Otter or any other residence.
Did you want to write the resolution out?
Yeah, but under what authority is council on overriding an executive?
I'm not
board?
overriding, I'm making a comment.
He can make a motion and
Comment.
he can make a motion and someone else can second that motion. And he can write out a resolution and then council can vote.
Well, I need help from people that write the resolutions as staff. That you understand what I'm trying to say is that St. Andrews Council does not tell any community club board who they cannot put on the board.
Well, if we could go on to, Madam Mayor, if we could, come back to this after the airport
Okay.
gets to present, then we'll.
Thank you.
Just
Airport
Councilor Darcy
Just
has-
just one thing. I agree with this. I wish we would have got this email a lot earlier than 3 o'clock this afternoon, and that's no fault of any, I guess, but I do agree, whether it's in draft form or it's not in draft form, I'm sure. And you gotta let these clubs either, they're separate entities, and things that they need to do. Back into it, so, and do as they job. Okay, let's come back to it. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, item 11.1, St. Andrews Airport Board. Welcome. Gus Paradowski, Zach Hogan,
And Mark Chislett.
Mark, Mark's there. Deputy.
We have Adam Martin on,
Andrew McDonald is on there.
Ivan McDonald.
from HM Aero. Yeah, there he is on the screen.
Okay, good evening, Mayor and Council. Let's start off with some background information. And I'll lead into introducing our consulting firm we hired. Thank you for the opportunity to introduce you to our strategic master plan, process and engagement. That helps. I'll start by going back to when Zach and I last met with you earlier this year in January to present the capital budget for 5 years. At that meeting, we emphasized the following points to council. St. Andrews Airport is a real success story. Since 1999, when the RM took over ownership from Transport Canada, it showed a profit each and every year. We anticipate that will continue in the future. This year's profit will be about $400,000. Number two, the airport is now 60 years old and requires capital reinvestments to maintain and refurbish its infrastructure. For example, we resurfaced all the taxiways this year at a cost of $400,000. Number three, we are funded primarily from our operations and maintain and improve the airport assets using our annual profits that we reinvest. We're funded by Transport Canada through the ACAP, Airport Capital Asset Program, for specific equipment, and only one of our 3 runways they fund. Number five, we recently introduced an airport improvement fee levy to supplement our current capital streams to assist with maintaining and extending the useful lives of a few other runways not supported by Transport Canada. Sixth, we are currently tapped out as far as future growth and development, as the leasable airside and groundside space at the airport is now fully used. We left council that after that meeting with these issues to continue to address on behalf of. Back in the fall of 2025, our planning and development committee were discussing the need for a strategic plan for the airport, as our current development and business plans. Result, our board of directors came to the conclusion we need a third comprehensive strategic managed airport. We researched across Canada to identify consulting firms that recently produced. We identified 7 such firms to look through sample detail, which included deliverables to be included in our strategic plan. Our strategic master plan will include the following: direct consultation through interviews with all pertinent stakeholders, including mayor, council, and CAO as owners, St. Andrews Airport Board of Directors and management, the community residents, all tenants, including the scheduled airlines, service airlines, and pilot training schools, recreation users of the airport, and key regional employers. Secondly, it's going to include an economic impact study on St. Andrews Airport's impact on the local, regional, and provincial economies. Thirdly, to include direct community engagement with residents through the use of the survey house. Fourth, to include assessments of the airport operations, safety procedures, as well as aircraft noise levels, which is very important to the residents. 5, to include the initial assessments of the airport infrastructure and the assets to see what shape most of our assets are. 6, it's going to review the St. Andrews Airport financial performance currently and include projections and forecasts into the future. 7, identification of opportunities, future growth and development. And number 8, identification of potential new funds such as grants and new revenue streams for capital investment. Of the 7 RFPs sent out, we see 3 proposals. Each of the 3 proposals were graded on the scale of 11 factors. It's system per factor with a maximum score of 55 attainable. The 3 firms with proposal were evaluated. HM Aero Aviation Consulting from Ottawa came out on top with a total skill of 38 out of 55. Her proposal included less than 600 hours from their highly qualified and experienced team to produce the plan. In addition to addressing all of our strategic master plan deliverables in their proposal, HMRO also included in the submission. There for Savannah's Airport, our grant application to the $5 billion federal government praise diversification awards, which is due in September. As a result, a contract with HMRO was agreed to and signed in April. Well, my pleasure to introduce HMRO to the meeting.
Thank you very much. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you for that introduction. That's very kind. At the outset, if with permission from the chair, if I could just share a very brief slide presentation, kind of walks
Yes,
through
Kyle.
our firm
Kyle.
as well as the project.
He's good to share. Yeah.
Okay, you're good, thank you.
Perfect. Can you let me know when that's visible?
That's good.
Excellent. Okay, so taking off from that introduction, I very much appreciate the opportunity to speak to the mayor and council this afternoon and evening. To first of all introduce ourselves. We will soon be in your rural municipality, and really wanted to take this opportunity to introduce ourselves, and then also walk through the project a little bit to give more background. So as Russ said, we are currently have started the process of completing the strategic master plan for St. Andrews Airport. Little bit of background on our company. We are based in Ottawa, as Russ said. We specialize in Canadian airports, and a strong specialization in regional airports within Canada. We have a planning, engineering, and regulatory advisory kind of our three pillars. My name is Andrew McDonald. I am a senior aviation planner with HMRO. Been in the industry since 2009. Have a background in master planning, in airfield design. So, as well as the rest of our team with engineering, planning, economics. So we have a pretty well-rounded team that we believe is perfectly suited for this assignment. Just a little bit of background. I know all of you are familiar with the airport, but it was opened in 1962. It was divested by Transport Canada in 1999. It's primarily a general aviation airport. Significant infrastructure. So it's a certified airport, which means that it follows all regulatory obligations of Transport Canada and the Canadian aviation regulations. I have 3 runways, all around 3,000 feet. Non-precision instrument approaches and weather reporting, a control tower, aircraft parking, jet fuel, AFGAS. So very substantial infrastructure and services. Total landmass for the airport is approximately 473 hectares, or over 1,100 acres. And there are 27 aviation and non-aviation businesses based at the airport today. Just to walk through the phases that we're going to go through as part of this assignment. So it'll be a 4-phase process. The first phase, which we are currently in, project initiation and contextual research, will involve the site visit, which will be coming up the week of June 8th, as well as the kicking off of this stakeholder and community engagement program, which, while it begins in phase 1 of this assignment, will continue throughout all phases. So there will be continuous opportunity for council, for airport users, for tenants, prospective and existing, as well as the community as a whole, to have input on the study. So the second phase, kind of once we've understand kind of where we're coming from through the catchment area, so socioeconomic review in phase 1, look at the social and economic impact assessment, as was alluded to previously. So we're going to look at the social and economic benefits of the airport. So beyond just how much money it raises, jobs, but also on the social side, how many people does it help every year through a variety of aviation uses and non-aviation uses. In that same phase, we're going to look at infrastructure assessment, so get a good understanding of what infrastructure is there today, through runways, taxiways, lighting, buildings, services, things of that nature, to get an idea of what is there, what its condition is, and try to get a strong idea of when those items may require rehabilitation within the course of the plan. And then a very important part of phase 2 is also to look at growth opportunity identification. So to see, understanding what the airport is doing and what it's doing well, areas where it could improve, as well as opportunities for either new tenants or ways to support existing tenants. So that's really kind of the crux of phase 2, is really understanding where we think through the industry, both locally, across the country and globally, just where we think the airport could better support the aviation industry. So in phase 3, we're going to perform activity forecasts. So over the 20-year kind of horizon of the master plan, which is the short term being years 1 through 5, medium term being years 5 through 10, and then a longer term phase being years 10 through 20. Get an idea of, based off of previous performance of the airport, which has been very strong, as well as where we see the industry moving overall. Get an idea of how many aircraft movements we anticipate to see, how many passenger movements we expect to see, or forecast to see, and then see how that could impact the needs to invest in infrastructure as well as airport services. So through that forecast, we will identify the infrastructure and support services that we think are most appropriate and pragmatic to support the future of the airport. And then through that, we will develop effectively a drawing or a series of drawings to illustrate an airport development plan to show where new infrastructure may be required, as well as which infrastructure will require rehabilitation. The reality is that over a 20-year master plan, of the vast majority of airfield and groundside pavements may require rehabilitation. So it's important to understand what we need to do to maintain what we have today, as well as what we need to do to prepare the airport and the region for the future. And then finally, in phase 4, we'll look at a capital plan. So we'll look at how much these investments we anticipate will cost, and see how the investments will impact the financial performance of the airport, both from a capital investment perspective, as well as operational expenses and revenues. As part of that, we'll kind of tie back to the initial economic impacts assessment that would be completed in phase 2, and to get an idea of what the economic impact of those investments would be. And then finally, the last piece, and one of the more important pieces of the plan, would be to prepare an implementation strategy that ties the opportunities to the investments, to get an idea what needs to happen in which phase, in which term of the master plan, or in which year, to kind of give a very clear guidance of where investments should happen and when they should happen. Intended outcomes, as were mentioned previously, kind of summed up. We want to establish clear and long-term direction for the airport. We want to complete a comprehensive engagement program that looks at both current airport stakeholders, the airport owner, which would be yourselves, as well as the community as a whole. We want to quantify the airport's social and economic value. That's very important, not only from the perspective of explaining the airport's value to your community, to the RM, but also is very important within the grant application phase, to be able to demonstrate to a federal government or provincial government the importance that the airport has, both tangibly through revenues and through jobs, as well as intangibly, potentially through some of the social aspects. Critical importance is identifying realistic growth and business development opportunities. Then to prioritize the infrastructure rehabilitation expansion to support those opportunities. And finally, as I alluded to just a minute ago, was to support government applications, funding applications. So the stakeholder and community engagement process, we are right at the cusp of launching. It's an incredibly critical piece of this entire plan. So community engagement is going to involve a project website, which is currently under production, as well as an online survey. Those questions have been circulated to the board for their review. So once those are available, we will launch the website and have an opportunity. And that, I believe my understanding is that both the RM and the airport will advertise the website and the survey so we can get to improve our response rate. And then closer towards the end of the project, we will host an open house available to all the public. Because at that point, we'll have more to show and more to share and give an opportunity for all stakeholders and the community to have an input on what we're proposing. In terms of the direct stakeholder engagement, that will begin in earnest the week of June 8th. Direct outreach. So we will be on site for June 8th and 9th and have in-person interviews with key stakeholders and tenants. We also perform a site visit, so we'll see the airport, do an airport tour, gain greater context to the airport. And as well, on the afternoon of June 9th, we'll be hosting through the airport operations building, a drop-in opportunity for all tenants to drop by and to meet us, to learn about the project and to give their input. So the next step, so we're currently within the project initiation contextual research phase. So that's going to go through May and towards the end of June, followed by the assessment and future direction, which will follow June into July. Future requirements, which will be a lot of the technical pieces in terms of future planning, will go July through September. And then finally, the strategic master plan finalization, which will involve that public open house, will be through September and October with the finalization of the report in October of this year. I appreciate the opportunity to address council, and if there are any questions at this time, I'm happy to take them on.
Council members, do you have any questions for Andrew? Well, thank you, Andrew. That was very informative. My questions for answering the length it would take to complete the strat plan. Are you looking into or maybe the airport, how many more hangars could be accommodated at the?
So the question is more so of how much funding do we have available to develop more land? Currently we have Apron 5, the north side's pretty much filled up. There's a couple hangars under construction, but it's going to be full shortly. We have the opportunity to develop the south side of Apron 5. We just have to push the road and put in the hydro poles, the sewer and water. And then there's still plans for a Apron 6. So I can't give you an answer on exactly how many hangars because it depends on how large they are. It could be, 4 massive hangars, or it could be 50 smaller hangars. It all depends when we have the funds available to develop further aprons. But there are plans to do that. It's not so much if, it's more so when.
Just to highlight that a little bit is when we did our last capital investment, which the RM was good enough to loan us some. We broke that project into 4 stages, and we developed the very southern side of that area. And we did that on purpose because we wanted to fill those spots and move on to the next phase 2, 3, and 4. So the plans are in place for those expansions for those hangars. So there's probably room for 10 hangars in each stage. Is that about right? Am I recollecting?
So the Apron 5, the north side right now, there's probably there's over 20 hangars on there. So I would say the south side would hold another at least say 20 to 30, depending on the size.
30 was the number I had in my mind.
Yeah, 30 would make sense.
Right. So we went to the farthest point so that we can come back. That was our most expensive investment, was to do that first. So we have the ability from hangars or my businesses or whatever we want, but each that we've come up with, which we've been capacity for the airspace. We'll talk some more about it. But that's the struggle we have now, is being able to safely move all of this. By adding more hangars, we're going to start to even make that situation even more complex.
Of course.
And so that's the 2 things kind of go together. Right?
Member,
Yes, hello, well, first of all, welcome to the RMLC News, Muskie brought up some really good points, I think we nailed it in terms of, the company that, we've, chosen, ATM Arrow. Andrew McDonald gave us what I would call a great agenda. He has all the dates nailed down. He's got a 4 or 5 point plan. Quite frankly, I really think that the St. Andrews Board nailed it in terms of picking this company and moving forward.
It's imperative we get this master plan done because we needed to get any funding from the federal government or provincial government or even form a public-private partnership with the business at the airport. So it's very important we get this done.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Councilor. Anybody else have any questions? Okay,
Thank you. Great.
thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Looking forward to hearing the final report.
I have a copy of the schedule of the whole plan, so I'll just leave that with you. I can email you.
And thank you, Andrew. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Okay, next is in camera. Thanks, gentlemen. Okay, our next item is in
Right.
camera. Be it resolved that council move in camera at 6:50 PM. To discuss matters that are in preliminary stages and respecting which discussion in public could prejudice the municipality's ability to carry out its activities or negotiations as well as legal and personal issues. And be it further resolved that the members of council agree to keep in confidence a matter that is discussed at a meeting that is closed to the public under section 152(3), and that the committee decides to be confidential until the matter is discussed at a meeting of the council or of a committee conducted in public. Can I have a mover, please? Councilor Doornbos, seconder. Slaker, all those in favor? We are in cameras.
5 minutes, we're gonna be.
We are back from out of in camera. Be it resolved that council move out of in camera at 7:57 PM. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Doornbos, seconder. Everybody wants to see Deputy Mayor Marecki. All those in favor? Unanimous, that is carried. Okay, we have resolutions coming from in camera. Subdivision number S253120. Whereas council has considered the application subdivision number S253120, the Red River Planning District Development Plan bylaw number 272/19, the RMLC St. Andrews zoning bylaw number 4066, and input provided at the public hearing. Therefore, be it resolved that the application has been rejected for the following reasons. The application is not in compliance with the RMLC St. Andrews zoning bylaw number 4066. And I'll be asking for a recorded vote, please. Could I have a mover? Councilor Slaker, seconder. Councilor Doornbos, any comments? All those in favor? All those opposed? So that is defeated.
Yeah,
Oh. It's defeated.
So what are you gonna report now? If
We
the
have to do a report for we're required by legislation to pass the resolution.
Yeah, we are.
We're looking at you.
well, we could go back in camera after this and come up with another resolution.
But with it, 6 of us, and Councillor Monder was one that opposed. Had he been present, it would have been 4-3, and it would have gone ahead.
Maybe. We'll have to carry it over.
We can't, we have to submit it to the.
It's defeated.
So what are you gonna submit then?
Bring it back.
Like, we have to submit something for
Mhm.
legislative.
Mhm.
In a certain time frame, is it not?
You submit that the resolution was defeated.
We'll have to maybe have a special meeting. I'll have to, either we go back and come, come with a resolution that all council can support, or the support changes, or I'll have to go, think about what we do on this one.
Because I think we're gonna have a situation with some of the other, resolutions.
All this is wording to the government. The process has already been done. All we're doing is submitting the wording to the government. Like, it was
Yeah, but we're
defeated or it was a.
But we're legislated to. And once it's defeated, it goes nowhere. When it's a tie, it's done. It doesn't go anywhere.
But I guess my question is, I don't understand why people are voting against them in the first place, when we've had a discussion on what to put down on the paper. This paper, these resolutions, if I understand correctly, now just go to province as to why. What we, the being defeated was all previous, that's all been done. This is just to submit wording to the province.
Well, it was voted down. I don't think we should bring it back tonight.
Well, no, and the thing.
Yeah, I don't think we
Councillor
should
Schleicher,
be voted
because-
back because Councillor Hunt made, I believe it's Councillor Hunt, made the, or someone made the comment that it's been defeated now.
And it's those of us that were in favor of any of these. Why would we support? Now, be a flipper and change. We originally supported it.
My answer to that is, after George Cuff, once council has made a decision, and the majority decision is the answer, all of council is expected to get on board with that decision. You do not get to carry your little grudge all the way through. That was one of the first things that we learned, and I dug out the book and read it the other day. So these things were
You'll have to do more
defeated.
reading, because this is the stuff we're what we do, never been faced with this.
I suggest we just move on.
Wait for administration to get back to it.
Yeah, I think we should, do the other two resolutions.
We table them,
Yeah, we table them and we have a special meeting
yeah.
in 48 hours to deal with this.
Okay, so,
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so now what happens to the resolution that's been defeated?
we're gonna have to table it
I'm
for
gonna
more
have to get a
information.
legal opinion.
Have to find out. Cause we are legislated to pass it. But it's because we're missing one council member that we can't move forward. Okay, so this one is tabled. And I would ask if council agree, item 14.2 secondary plan amendment 4436. And zoning bylaw amendment 4437 be tabled at the same time. At the same time, does everybody agree
Agree
with
with that?
Yes.
table? Okay. Next item, 14.4 industrial park noise violation. Whereas the Army St. Andrews, the RM, has received complaints regarding possible violation of the St. Andrews noise control bylaw number 4099 within the St. Andrews Industrial Business Park. And whereas the RM met with each property owner multiple times to hear complaints and try to mediate the situation with different land use configurations. And whereas a legal interpretation of bylaw number 4409 identified that the bylaw could be interpreted in a way that indicates the property owner is in violation of bylaw number 4409, specifically part 3, section 3.02 B, D, and F. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the RM of St. Andrews deems the property identified as tax roll number 1801.000, 1802.000, and 1803.000 as being non-compliant with bylaw 4409 by allowing for nuisance noise to emanate from their property during the restricted hours identified within the bylaw. And further be it resolved that the RM will enforce the above noted sections of the bylaw by restricting the property owner's use of equipment emanating the nuisance noise during the hours of 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. on weekdays and 11 p.m. to 9 a.m. on weekends and holidays. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Slaker, seconder. Councillor Dornbos, any further comments or questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, that matter is carried. Item 14.5, Code of Conduct Appeal. Whereas the Council of the RM of St. Andrews verifies they have received and reviewed the Municipal Code of Conduct Appeals Director's Report. And whereas the Council accepts the report as presented in full. Therefore, be it resolved that Councillor Chris Mondor is in breach of the Council Code of Conduct and the following sanctions are upheld as defined in resolution number 2026-0073. That Councillor Chris Mondor be required to complete respectful workplace and governance training at his own expense to reinforce the standards of communication, professionalism, and collaboration expected of members of council. And that such training must be completed within 60 days of the date of this resolution, and confirmation of completion shall be provided to the Chief Administrative Officer. That Councillor Chris Mondor provide a formal written apology to council for the conduct referenced in the investigation report within 30 days of the date of this resolution. And further resolve that the timeline identified for the completion of the sanction shall begin at the passing of this resolution. Could I get a mover, please?
I'll abstain from the vote.
Oh, thank you. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Slaker, seconder. Deputy Mayor Marecki. Any further comments, questions? All those in favor? Opposed? That open. Councillor Feeble-Corn abstained. That is unanimous, that is carried. Now we have a resolution I will ask the CAO to read in relation to item that was 11.6, the Matlock Recreation Fund.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Whereas community centers within the RM of St. Andrews serve as an important gathering places that promote recreation, wellness, culture, and social connection. And whereas council recognizes the value of inclusive and welcoming public spaces for residents of the RM of St. Andrews and neighboring communities. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the RM of St. Andrews welcomes all residents of the RM of St. Andrews, as well as residents of other communities, to participate in programs, activities, and events held at community centers within the municipality. And further be it resolved that the council encourages community centers to foster an atmosphere of inclusiveness, respect, and community participation for all attendees.
Thank you.
I'll move that, and then I'd like.
Okay, just go on, I'll get a mover and seconder. Could I, Councillor Hunt moves it, could I get a seconder? Councillor Dornbos. Any comments or questions?
So just a comment, so I think that's great, I think it explains everything, but I just want to read what led up to that resolution, and if anybody thinks we should add to it, or I think it's good as is, but This is what I had written down. Council of the RM St. Andrews does not and never has put forth or recommended eligibility requirements regarding board or executive members in our community clubs. The RM recognizes that all of our community clubs are strong and well managed because of the diverse strength of our members and executive. And these clubs excel because they draw from within our own municipality and neighboring communities. Thank you to everyone who does volunteer for the community clubs throughout St. Andrews. And that's just my comment that led to that resolution. And I think combined with maybe a statement from council and a resolution, which makes it, which should go into their constitutions, that the constitutions, the clubs should adopt that resolution in their constitutions. I think that this is what mayor and council, and maybe take some inserts out of what I had written, because I think it's, all clubs do well, and I judge that because we never hear nothing from them. You know, they do well. They come for some money when they need it, and they raise their own money, and they're great. Every one of them is great clubs because of who they draw on, you know. And some people do move away from the communities and still want to be part of the community. So I think it's important that we allow that.
Thank you for adding this statement. Okay, we had a mover, Counselor Hunt, seconder, Counselor Johnson. Any further comments? Counselor Schleicher?
I would like to see the two things together. Posted on social media.
While we're dealing with the resolution,
Yeah, I
we
understand.
had a mover. Counselor Hunt made a statement. We're dealing with which is great, but we're dealing with a resolution.
Correct, and I don't agree with the wording of the resolution. I would
So
like
then
to
you
see
can
it.
agree.
Mayor Sewell, please. I'm asking that we could make this, the point of conversation is to discuss the resolution. It's not locked in stone. I'm asking that we add to the resolution part of what Counselor Hunt said.
I read that statement because that's what transpired led to the resolution, I believe. And I think the resolution sets it forth in more of a resolution matter, and this is what led towards it. And I just explained to our community clubs that what your resolution had said, and then what statement I read is how it led to that. And I think we can include it. Can you include it with a resolution or a statement, or like, where's this resolution going to go? This is what council believes in, and do we support my statement as well? Do we put that
You made a
forward?
statement. We're dealing with the resolution. You made a statement. So now that is going into our minutes. The resolution will be voted on. Your statement is on record.
Read the last part of your statement.
The RM recognizes that all our community clubs are strong and well managed because of the diverse strength of our members and executive. And these clubs excel because they draw from within our own municipality and neighboring communities. Thank you to everyone who does volunteer for these community clubs throughout St. Andrews.
Oh, we could put, and furthermore, and add that at the end.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
Yeah, well, so we'll add that last part of the statement that you put
Okay.
as a furthermore, and then Caroline will get mine, and you give her your last portion, and that will be the resolution.
So our Counselor, you're the mover and second. You're okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Counselor Schleicher?
And then can we ask that this resolution be posted out on social media tomorrow morning?
It'll be with our minutes.
It's in the minutes.
We've got a
I
minute.
understand, I'm asking. Could it please be posted out on social media? Please.
Hey, respectful.
Yeah, we have a respect for it.
I think people are interested, going to be watching this anyway, and this wasn't the reason to grandstand. It's just that I value all of our community clubs, and I value every member and executive and board members that do volunteer for the communities. I just think, we should not restrict members. So that's what this conversation was all about, and nothing derogatory about anybody. Thank you.
Okay, we have a mover and a seconder. All those in favor? Those opposed? That is unanimous. That is carried. Next item is our adjournment. Be resolved that the council meeting be adjourned at 8:14. Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Dornbos, seconder, Counselor Felix. All those in favor? Unanimous. That is carried.